What is going on, you guys? Your boy Roy here. Today I want to give you 3 tips on how to do progressive overload the right way. Now, progressive overload is simply just looking at our progress over a period of time when it comes to our training, over the course of weeks, months, even years. And we do this by continuing to tax our bodies. When you first start lifting weights and you're working out, you're only going to be able to do so much. But over time, what you're able to do, the capacity, what your body is capable of, is going to increase. So we have to be able to know how to measure and how to progressively overload our body to continue to add stress so we keep seeing progress. All right, so tip number 1 when it comes to progressive overload. This is the most common one. This is probably what most of you guys do or think of when you think of progressive overload. Simply put, let's say that you first up into the gym and you can do the 20-pound dumbbells. All right, and the next time you go to the gym, the next week, you're trying to hit this progressive overload, so you jump from doing the 20 pounds to trying to do the 25-pound dumbbells. This is the simplest form of progressive overload, is increasing your weight. Now, this is really, really, really great. It is really fun. Of course, this is most people's goals, and I love this. But the issue with this is that this tends to be what happens for a lot of the beginners. When you first step into the gym, you can only do just the bar, or you're only able to do just the 10s or the 15s, and your body's not really used to working out. So on a weekly basis, you're probably going to find yourself increasing weight pretty drastically, pretty quickly. However, for those of you guys who have been in the gym for a while, you're intermediate, even an advanced athlete, you're going to realize that you have that ceiling. You have that threshold, right? If I think about it, I'm never going to do 3 sets of 10 back squats at 1,000 pounds. Like, it's never going to happen. Your body has that threshold, it has that ceiling, and the closer we get to our potential, the closer we get to that ceiling, then this isn't going to happen as much. So you might get to a place over time where you jump from the 10s to the 15s, the 15s to 20s, the 20s to the 25s, and then the 30s might take you months, maybe even years to get to, right? It might even just be hard enough to jump from 25 to maybe 27 and a half. And so then the question then becomes, well, what do I do? Once I start to get to this point where I'm not increasing weight every week, and you get to a place where maybe on a monthly basis you're making those slight increases, but once you become an athlete and you're really doing this for a long time, it's become a lifestyle change, you might spend years just trying to get a PR, a 1 rep max of just 1 pound heavier, which would be amazing. And so this is great, especially in the beginning. We're always striving for this, but there's actually other ways to do this progressive overload and continue to see progress over time. Which brings us to tip number 2 of progressive overload. So when I think about training, and most of you guys that are watching this video, you want to build lean muscle, you want to look toned, you want to burn fat, right? And increasing that metabolism. So when I think about progressive overload and I think about my training, I really want to have what's called muscle hypertrophy. I really want to tax the muscle. I want to have time under tension. I want to focus my mind muscle connection and make sure I'm working the right muscle to its full capacity. Now, when we're doing this, most people, when they typically are doing a program, they have somewhere between 3 sets of 10. That's like the most common rep scheme there is. 3 sets, 10 reps. I even see people, because we want to get stronger, and so everything's about getting strength. And if you want to get stronger, I see people dropping down to doing 3 sets of 8, even sets of 6 or 4. And the issue with that is, does it help you get stronger? Yes, but I like doing more volume, because again, more time under tension, putting that muscle under a longer period of stress is really going to emphasize that muscle damage and muscle growth. So a new way to have this progressive overload, we're at this place where we can do the 25 pounds, but the 30 pounds are just too heavy and we're not making that progress. You can stick with the 25 pounds, and instead of doing 3 sets of 10, we can upgrade to doing 3 sets of 12. So now you're increasing by 2 reps. You're doing more volume. You're adding more stress to your body. This is one of my favorite things to do, and it's so simple. And what's really amazing is that you've been doing the 25 pounds for the last few weeks, and I tell you to do 2 more reps, and you just do 2 more reps at the same weight. And you realize you've just been stopping yourself at 10 because the program says to just do 10 when you could have done 11. You could have done 12 all along. And a lot of you guys are going to be amazed that you actually can do more volume, more reps with that same weight. Now, adding on to this, actually my favorite thing to do and what I have most people do is actually a range all the way up to 15. Because if you're really moving slow and controlled, you're feeling the muscle, you have good technique, then this is going to put you into that 45 to 60 seconds of work. Really, that is the golden time frame you want for enough muscle contractions and time under tension to really work that hypertrophy. And again, sticking with the 25s, maybe this week you can only do 12. But next week you could do 13. Next week you could do 14. Maybe the first set you could do 15, but then the next set you can only do 13. And then the third set you can only do 12. And now you're going to work up to hopefully one day being able to do 3 sets of 15. And when you get to the point where you can do 3 sets of 15, I bet you we have enough hypertrophy, enough building that muscle to where you can jump and now maybe even start doing the 30 pounds for just 10 reps, right? So this is going to help one day hopefully get you to that heavier weight as well. But if we never can do the heavier weight, we can always try to do more volume as well. Now, taking this one step further, my favorite way to program is just adding volume, you guys, adding volume. We can do, instead of 3 sets of 10, we could just add in another set, right? Look at that. Both of these scenarios, right? 3 sets of 15 is 45 total reps compared to 30. You were only doing 30 reps here, now you're doing 45. Well, now here you're doing 40 reps total. So we're just increasing the volume. And you'd be amazed. You're still only doing the 25 pounds, but you're doing so many more reps and you're taxing that muscle so much. And if we really want to get to my ultimate favorite way to program, and you guys will see this if you're inside of the Rough app and you do our shred program here, that this is a lot of what you see as we combine these two things. What if we did something like this? 4 sets of a range of 12 to 15. Aiming for that 15 rep range, doing 4 sets. This just took you from doing 30 total reps to getting to 60 total reps. By just adding in one more set, maybe a couple more reps, you have almost doubled, in some cases doubled, your volume. And now you're really putting more stress on your muscles, getting more damage, and really seeing this progressive overload and really pushing you. If we are going to increase in weight, this is going to help you get to where you want to be. So instead of decreasing sets and decreasing reps for strength, this will not only help you get stronger, but also put more stress on the muscle to help you do more damage, build more muscle, and ultimately burn more fat as well. And you're going to be amazed at how this helps you with progressive overload. And this is built in progressive overload because, again, maybe the first set you can do 15, but the second set you can only do 14, the third set you can only do 13, and maybe the last set you could only get 10. And now the goal is how many weeks does it take for us to get to be able to do 4 sets of 15 at this weight? Cool? Now, this is one of my favorite things to do, but there's one more tip. And that gets us to tip number 3 on progressive overload. So we've already learned about increasing weight. We've already fixed our rep scheme to really maximize hypertrophy and time under tension. Now with number 3, this really brings everything together. And this is probably one of the biggest tips that I challenge you to do in your next workout. So what we're going to do is 4 sets, because that's what we like. We like this 12 to 15 rep range, but we're going to split it up. 4 sets of 7 to 10 reps plus 3 to 5. So I usually say a 7 plus 3 or a 10 plus 5 is the way that I say this. You're probably wondering, what does that mean? How does it work? Well, again, remember in the beginning, we love increasing this weight, but we just cannot get 3 sets of 10 or 4 sets of 10 of this 30 pounds. We're really starting to get to that ceiling, but going up in weight is fun. So how are we ever going to start to practice this 30 pounds? How are we going to make this jump? Well, that's what this allows. What if your set, you do 4 sets at the 30 pounds, and we can only get 7 reps, let's say, with good form. Okay, so you do 7 reps here. Well, you're not getting to that 10. We don't want to do strength. We really want to aim for 12 to 15. You do 7 reps with the 30s. You put the 30s down and immediately grab the 25s, which we know we can do, and then we add in immediately another 3 to 5 reps, which takes us 4 sets. You get to practice the heavier weight at 7, 8, 9, 10 reps, then drop the weight, and then we immediately grab the 25 pounds. I have this upside down, but we immediately grab the 25 pounds, and now we can bust out another 3 to 5 reps. So we're still in this golden spot of 4 sets of 12 to 15. We're still getting the time under tension, we're still getting the volume, we're still able to keep good form, and now we're getting the best of both worlds. We're getting to do the heavier weight, which is so much fun and we love to see, and we're getting the hypertrophy, the time under tension, all in this new rep scheme. And now with progressive overload, we can say, hey, I did 4 sets of 7 plus 3. Next week, can I do 4 sets of 7 plus 4, or 4 sets of 7 plus 5? And eventually, hopefully, we get to a point where we do 4 sets of 10 plus 3, 4 sets of 10 plus 5, and then maybe one day we get to 4 sets of 12 to 15 with the heavier weight. These are your tips for tracking progressive overload and maybe a new way to think about things in your training. I really challenge you, do this first, and once you start to get to that ceiling, then we can maybe change that rep scheme for you to really break through that plateau, have some more progressive overload. And once you've mastered this and you really feel like you're getting to this 4 sets of 12 to 15 with that weight, then we can jump to step 3 and adding in the new weight with the old weight to really help that progressive overload. I hope this makes sense. Please, if you love this, don't forget to save for later and share with a friend, and we'll keep adding in more tips like this. I appreciate you guys. Just remember, we don't pray for an easy life, we earn a rough one. Y'all keep earning those cookies.